If there's one thing I will say about this film, is that one shot of Carnage, it looked more nightmare inducing, as it should be. Hello everyone, this is Alex the Blue Man, and I welcome you all back to my usually delayed segment of movie reviews. And for today's video, I will be talking about the recently released Venom: Let There Be Carnage. If you're wondering what my thoughts were about the first movie, I'll just say this in short summary. Venom looks great, some action scenes were decent, plot felt like filler for the next big thing, which is Carnage. Overall, it was an above average film, and for this one, it is the first theatrical appearance of Carnage. And if you don't know anything about the character, in the comics, he is a symbiote spawned from Venom who merged with psychopathic serial killer Cletus Cassidy, and they became like the Joker of Marvel Comics, or perhaps even worse than Joker. So yeah, very graphic the more I think about it. So the question remains is, how was the character handled in terms of being in a PG-13 environment? Let us dive deeper and figure that out. First off, let's talk about the positives. Some of the soundtrack, while not very memorable, but whenever the film puts the focus on the bad guy, it goes suspenseful, intense, eerie then loud even. Anything to make him feel more threatening. And speaking of the soundtrack, the ending song, which is again, not too memorable, but I did find it better than the previous film's ending song. And if you know me, I'm more of a heavy metal geek, so please excuse my taste in music. For two more things about it, the appearance of Carnage was, as I said, intense. Yes, the PG-13 rating held him back on what he can truly do, there's no denying that. But for all the kills he did in the movie, it's something I would rather not see myself in. And that's it for the positives, and for the negatives, wow. There's probably a bit more bad here than good. Majority of the first two acts are just bantering and mocking, and then there's also 2 to 3 moments that I find myself too uncomfortable to see through. Like, and it's not in a gory way, it's more for comedic effect, but I just find it cringy. Like, I literally have to shield my eyes because I couldn't handle watching these scenes without cringing myself. I'll put into a minor spoiler for those who haven't watched this yet, but one moment involves a rave, or a dance club. For the characters, Eddie Brock and Venom are back, and they're pretty much the same as in the previous film. Sometimes times by 2, because most of what they do in the movie is banter and mocking each other, and for the first few times it can be funny. But then it gets more repetitive and more mean-spirited, and that type of comedy at maximum is just not for me. And then there's his ex-girlfriend and her current boyfriend. Still the same. In fact, what happened to her during the first movie happened in here too, and you can guess what moment I am talking about. Although the boyfriend tried to be more useful in one moment this time around, so there's that. And then there's Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, and he is, in my opinion, the standout of this movie, which you can obviously guess throughout this review so far. And every time he is on screen, he is those characters that give me an eerie feeling, like you wouldn't want to be in the same room with this guy, just like some of the Far Cry villains. When he finally becomes Carnage, it's when the movie finally starts intensifying. And now there's Shriek. At least I'm calling her that because she definitely lives up to the name. Now, other than to give Cassidy some backstory, what do I truly think of this character? Her abilities and contributions to the movie makes no sense to me. It was never explained how she got her powers in the first place. I mainly thought, judging for the previews, that she has another symbiote inside her, but that doesn't seem to be the case from what I've seen. All she does is trying to be this movie's version of Himiko Toga from Hero Academia, and not much else. Easily another downside is the runtime. The length of this film was actually an hour and a half, and a majority of that time was focused on comedic bantering. So yeah. Carnage, the climax, the ending song, which I found better than the previous ending song, and the mid-credits scene are all the highlights for me. But this movie, the more I think about it, it is slightly worse than the previous one. It was only saved by the positives I gave it. I want to like this movie more, but for what it is, it's mediocre at best. So I'm going to give Venom Let There Be Carnage a 5 out of 10. I will give it this though, I'm all MCU'd out, but for what it is, it's better than nothing. So everyone, I have another video planned, which is for my 4-year anniversary of this channel, and I think it's high time I go a bit deeper into my continuous absences so far this year. Thank you ladies and gentlemen for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment down your thoughts on this movie if you've seen it, and I hope you all have a blurific happy Halloween.